Well, let's go over this week in Clark County news. And so last week was the Thanksgiving week, and so they took the week off. It's probably a good thing. They ate a lot, all the counselors, the county manager, rest up. Why? Because this week they came back to pass the 2026 budget. And let's just put it this way. Every tax increase that was available, that was put on the table, they ate, they took. They passed property tax levies, they passed park levies, they passed road and conservation levies. I mean, every tax increase that they could take, they took. And so, and this was really predicted when Sue Marshall gave the State of the County speech earlier in the year. She hinted to this and indicated that she'd be looking for new tax revenues. Take a listen.
Potentially new revenue sources.
So now we have a situation where they passed $13 million of new taxes and revenues. And guess what? They still have a structural deficit. In fact, that didn't even touch the deficit. That just took care of all the additional spending that they want to implement, and they have implemented. Some of the bigger votes were that the 1% plus bank capacity is it was a 4-1 vote in which they did that. Now, the banked capacity, in my opinion, is just really kind of a scam. It's a way so if they don't take the 1% like last year, they can vote to bank the capacity. So that means they can take that money and raise your taxes. So in a way, the vote last year now is worthless in the sense of raising or not raising taxes, because they banked the capacity, and so now they're doing that. So they actually raised the property taxes levy by 1.8%, not just 1%, but 1.8%, and about the same for the road levy. The one that really caught my eye was the conservation levy that raised at 1% plus the bank capacity, which was 15%. So total 16% raise on that. And anyways, so it's just kind of crazy. And what's crazy to me is how the Democrats are trying to retune their message for affordability, saying we're the party of affordability, of the working class. Meanwhile, while we're working, while everyone's busy with their lives, they're raising taxes like this. That Sue Marshall, Will Fuentes, and the gang, and those who are willing to cooperate, will just raise taxes, In fact, Sue Marshall has now raised your property taxes, voted to raise your property taxes all 4 times, 4 years. Because if you remember, she was sworn in early in 2022 and was able to vote on the 2023 budget. And so she has now voted 4 times in a row to raise your property taxes. And it's just really a crying shame. The other kind of aspect to this that maybe is getting lost in the numbers, because it's very difficult to keep track of these things, is that in 2022, the salaries portion of the Clark County budget was $84 million. Now, this was before the Baker-Tilly compensation study was implemented. And I bring that up because since then, now in 2026, they approved $117 million for salaries. So that's a 39% increase. Let me repeat that. A 39% increase in salary spending since just 2022. And a big chunk of this is the Baker-Tilly compensation study, which in my opinion was kind of a scam, because what they did is they did a compensation study that did not factor in benefits at all. It just looked in. Now, anyone who knows anything about how government, in particular local government salaries and pay structure work, you know that you get kind of a lower salary for higher benefits. They have a pension program. They have, other benefits that the private sector would die for. Like, they're very good, and that's okay. That's always been the trade-off, right? A little less cash, a little better on the benefits. Now they have both, and you see a 39% increase in salaries. That's the structural deficit. That's where it's blowing it up. And in the little game here is that they overspend, and then it creates a structural deficit. Then they get to December when it's the budget time, and they say, hey, we have a structural deficit. We can't just, we have to do something. The responsible thing is to do something. So they raise taxes instead of stop the overspending. So it's pretty amazing all that's happened this last week. I'm going to take a closer look at this in our spotlight section, where we're going to dive into a little deeper of what the Democrats are saying, that they are for affordability and the working class. But when you look at votes like this, when you look at policy like this, they are creating higher prices, higher property taxes, higher taxes in general. Tax burden is making housing and living in Clark County and Washington State less affordable, less doable. So now they get to take from what I understand, they're going to take most of the rest of December off. So they took off mostly last week, came in this week, spent like drunk sailors, like raised taxes, every tax that they could get their hands on. And now they're going to take the rest of December off. So there's probably not going to be a whole lot more updates till the first of the year, but if there are new developments, I'll keep you posted.
Here we go. Microphone check, 1, 2, here we go. And I'ma let you know.